Hey, and welcome to Solving. This one feels like it should be built into After Effects, but it's not. If you found this video, or read the title, then you're here to find a way to do this. I'm talking about the width of the text layer, not that arrow. If you want to know how to make an arrow preset, then click the link now. But you're here for the text width preset, and I've included a slider to make it easy to adjust. There's a preset FFX file linked in the description below. Go ahead and use that if you're in a rush, but if you'd prefer to learn how to build your own, go ahead and select the text tool and type or paste in a few lines of text. So the text I'm using is my script for this. It's got some line breaks in already. I didn't draw a text box first, I just pasted this in directly. Obviously if I had drawn a text box then I wouldn't need this preset. So go to Effect, Expression Controls, Slider Control. Hit enter and rename it to Width. Now right click on the value and choose Edit Value. Set the slider range to start at something like 200 and the max to whatever you want really. I chose 1920. This is going to be our width in pixels. We're going to use an expression to build this, and it's got lots of moving parts to it. I'll try to explain as I go. I'm a front-end web developer in my day job, so I'm comfortable with JavaScript. The expression is linked in a notepad file in the description below if you get stuck. Make sure you include the camel case capital letters where you see them, and add a semicolon to the end of each line. And last thing before we get started, I need to run through YouTube's mandatory please subscribe procedure. Hey, at least I'm not banging on about Nebula, am I right? Expand the text layer until you can see the source text stopwatch. Hold Alt and click on it to open the expressions area. Let's declare our variables. Source text equals text.sourceText, semicolon. That's the text content we pasted in. Font size equals sourceText.style.fontSize, semicolon. That's the font size as controlled in the character window. And now here's a clever bit. Source text equals sourceText.replace, all that stuff, semicolon. There's loads of different ways text can encode line breaks. This replace command scans through the source text and replaces everything with the pipe symbol. I could have saved a line of code later and used a single line break option here, but I think it's more useful to see what's going on. Now this line. Text array equals sourceText.split brackets quotes space and close all that up. We're creating an array of all the words in our text by looking for spaces and breaking them up at that point. So our first word, in my case hey, goes into text array 0. Now let's add our slider. Pixel width equals, and use the pick whip to link to the width slider value. And then char width, or character width, equals font size divided by 2. This is a fudge, but if we look at a close-up of the characters and I bring in a rectangle shape at the same height, 50 pixels, you'll notice it's about twice the width of each letter. If I halve the width of the rectangle shape, it's more or less the right width. Sure, M is bigger, but I is less, so it more or less averages out. Last two variables, txt equals single quotes, count equals 0. The word text is a term used in After Effects expressions, a reserved term, so we want to avoid it here. You can see the reserved terms, they appear yellow as opposed to white. I could or should have avoided source text and font size, but they don't really impact on anything I'm doing, so I felt safe to stick with them. Count will be used to keep track of the number of letters on a line. Now, we need to run through all the words in the array one by one. For brackets var I equals 0 semicolon, I is less than text array.length semicolon, I++, close brackets, open curlies. I is an integer, and we're saying for every iteration of I, starting at 0 and adding 1 each time until it is no longer less than the number of entries in the text array, repeat everything in the curly brackets. Let's make a new variable, word equal to text array square brackets I, close square brackets, plus single quote space close single quote. Word is easier to type than text array I all the time, and we need to add back that space we removed when we split everything up. If brackets word dot index of brackets single quotes pipe close brackets is greater than -1 close brackets open curly brackets, word plus equals single quotes /n count equals 0 close curlies. What this if statement does is check word to see if it has the pipe symbol. If it did, the index of value would be greater than -1. At that point, we treat the word as being on a new line. So we add in a line break, /n, and we set the count to 0. Although at this point it is 0, but we're about to change that. After the curly bracket, type else and open another curly bracket. Count plus equals word.length. So add all the letters and the space to the count value. Another if. Count times char width is greater than pixel width, close brackets, open curly brackets, txt plus equals single quotes pipe. Count equals 0, close curlies. So if the number of letters and spaces times the width of each character is more than the value we set in the slider, add a new line character to the txt variable and reset the count to 0. Everything probably seems a bit backwards now, but that's because I've put the exceptions in above the main setting. Make sure you have 2 lots of close curly brackets, then txt plus equals word. So, ignoring the 2 if statements, we are back at our iterative for statement. Run through every word in the array that we made and add them to the variable txt. The if statements have been the way we can add new lines, breaking at the width we set. Another closed curly bracket, and the final line, txt.split, brackets, quotes, pipe, close quotes, close brackets, dot join, open brackets, open quotes, /n, close everything off. We take our variable txt and remove all the pipe symbols we added, replacing them with /n. And that's it. Make sure both the width effect is selected and holding Control also select the text's source text and go to Animation, Save Animation Preset. Now, whenever you have loads of text in different layers that you need to wrangle, just apply this preset and then chuckle at all the slowpokes resizing each text box. Until next time, I'm here if you have any questions. See you in a few weeks for another solving tutorial. Oh wait, I think I was planning on a making.